Joe Rogan has just broken down one of the most controversial accusations surrounding Jake Paul, shedding light on details that many fans either misunderstood or completely overlooked.
So much credit for stepping into that ring.
That guy is only fighting 3 rounds. He's a fucking handful.
Yeah.
He's really good. He clocked Anthony Joshua. He did hit him with a big right hand. Didn't have any effect. He weighed 216, but he's doesn't even have abs right at 216. He could easily weigh 190.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
What are you saying to the feedback on the fight?
You can clearly see Tyson was holding back his punches.
They just want me to lose. That's the only way they would have thought it was entertaining. And people are like, oh, it's rigged because look at him on the pads, but he didn't do this in the fight. Because someone is fucking punching back, you dumb fucks. People don't realize my power.
That is true.
And my jab and my speed and my ability and my footwork to get out of the way of those punches. So then all of a sudden he's throwing at literally air.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. Jake was fighting for his survival. You could see that this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through. It was incredible. And any boxer that wants to say, well, that wasn't high level boxing, go ahead. I won't argue with you. But any human that says that wasn't a fight, yeah, it was a fight.
And it's reignited a debate that simply refuses to fade away. It's a question that has hovered over combat sports for years, and after Jake Paul's clash with Anthony Joshua, the noise has only intensified. Social media sleuths are now slowing down footage, freeze-framing exchanges, and pointing out signals, hesitations, and moments that just don't sit right with them. And now, even Anthony Joshua's name has been pulled into the discussion. In the past, Joshua has been asked directly about the legitimacy of influencer boxing, and while he's never accused Jake Paul outright, his remarks about business boxing, entertainment fights, and spectacle over sport have been seized on by fans as further fuel for the fire.
Jake, what I learned about Jake is, so when you look at the physicality stuff, and as you said, he's looking at my chest, I think Jake is someone where I got to beat him mentally because he's a mental person. This is my observation. A lot of what Jake's preparation is based around is not only the physical aspects of training, but the way he thinks, meditation, breath work. And if I can break his soul and I can break his mentality, then I've broken Jake. So this is why it's going to be an interesting fight, because I just don't look at it from a physical standpoint. I know the person that's in front of me, and I know that I got to break it. That's why I said I got to take his soul. It's not just physical. I got to take your soul in the ring.
Only person that can do that is God.
I knew he was going to say that.
Is he with your brain?
No, I don't know. That's what I was going to ask is how do you plan on doing that? Like when is it going to start?
Because
I mean, obviously in the fights it's different, you know, but I mean, when are you going to start taking it?
I've just seen in fights when I can see someone's, let's call it energy, frequency leaving their body. And that's what my goal is to do the same to you. You have that instinct. You can see it. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading. And then you just keep exploiting that until some people give up. Some people get knocked out. We'll figure out. But as I said, for me, it's not just going in there and being dominating physically. I want to break him down spiritually and mentally.
That's some deep boxing you just broke down.
Yeah.
Anyone who questioned whether or not you had a chin, I think the answer to that question was proven last night. Bro, you can take a shot. Anthony Joshua hits you with probably his hardest shot that we've seen drop every other single fighter that he's fought.
Yeah.
And he hit you in the face. And not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow.
I was like, wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot.
Dude, did he surprise you with his power?
No, to be honest, no. But I mean, he surprised my jaw. It's literally snapped, face. Bro. It's literally snapped.
Dude, when
completely snapped.
After the fight, you were like, I think like one of my teeth is, and you open your mouth and I was the first to see it. I went, you broke your jaw, dude. On both sides too.
If it is a broken jaw, those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, like that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but, you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticize people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet after the stoppage. So, you know, I think he'll have to see physically how that jaw, I don't know the severity of it. It's a very difficult injury to come back from. But he showed he's got ability, and that's what we said. You know, he's dedicated to the
first class. It is a huge, huge honor for me to do these events whenever I can. I enjoy them. And I think the more seasoned and better and more accomplished and veteran fighter won. But I don't think Jake's stock goes down. He could still fight, you know, the Furies and the KSIs. I would love to see that fight of the world, even the Darren Tills of the world. Like, I think that there is still very much a market. But obviously there's levels. And by the way, there are weight classes for a reason as well. He's a cruiserweight. He's not a heavyweight. But it sounds like he wants to keep going. And it sounds like AJ wants to keep going. Although in a brief conversation with a member of his team, they said maybe this February date is too soon. He specifically mentioned Tyson Fury, bypass that February date, go straight to Tyson. I know there is a fight on the table for February, but again, that's why I hate when they announce these things before. You could get tired, you could get hurt, you could get, who knows, banged up. So let's see if that February date remains. I'm hearing it could be in flux. And let's see if his next fight is against Tyson. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. We don't need tune-up fights anymore. Make that fight next. Jake needs some time off. Maybe we see him back end of 26. Obviously, he's got a lot going on with him.
Not proof, but fuel. Joe Rogan addressed the chaos head-on, explaining that accusations like these always erupt when a polarizing figure starts winning fights they're not supposed to win. According to Rogan, this isn't new at all. Boxing has always been surrounded by conspiracy theories, especially when money, fame, and outsiders collide. Now, before this goes any further, let's be clear. This channel does not believe Jake Paul rigs his fights. There is no evidence proving that any of his bouts are fixed, and suggesting otherwise remains speculation driven by online narratives. But the stigma itself, that's what makes this story fascinating. Fans point to moments where Jake appears to roll his tongue, pause exchanges, or step offline at odd times. Others claim opponents hesitate when they shouldn't, or fail to capitalize when Jake is visibly open.
Up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
Absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2, or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round the arm and go on the floor. He's a tough guy.
What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. This is a terrifying human being. A guy who survived Usyk twice, the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. You know, you saw what Usyk did to Dubois. Did you see that? I mean, that's the Usyk you're talking about. There's an Usyk that rocked Tyson Fury, who's fucking 6'9", and the toughest guy you fought before was 40 years old Anderson Silva. Those are the toughest guys so far you fought. Jake Paul wants to fight that guy. I'll watch. Yeah. You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for competition.
It hasn't. Yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer. And you're going to stand in front of that guy, and he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Yeah. His movement in that fight was crazy.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
He was really keeping him moving around the whole ring, and then
you can't afford to get tired. That's the thing is, like, he gets tired in a lot of his fights in the later rounds. You should really sort that out. Because if he had a much bigger gas tank, like if he was training with like some of these elite world-class strength and conditioning coaches and just worked on his cardio, he'd be beating way more guys.
You think so?
Yeah. 100%. But it's like, what he's doing is learning how to box, and he's boxing and he's training hard for sure. But to get that world class gas tank, you need like a Sam Calavita, you need like a Nick Curson, you need like these plyometrics experts that are got heart rate monitors on you, and they're checking when your recovery is ready and go.
Yeah.
And you're fucking yeah. You need guys monitoring your recovery, monitoring your heart rate variability, your VO2 max.
I couldn't believe it.
I don't. And maybe he is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is doing that.
Mhm.
But whatever it is, it's not.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Broke Jake's jaw. And
His teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen, but it just took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Paul's ever to step in a boxing ring to bring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. My brother, as a fucking YouTuber, went 6 rounds with him in a fight with a broken jaw and rolled ankle. I'm so proud of him. That was just unbelievable.
I saw you talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was trying to get his head. I think I pissed him off. I was just saying fuck that shit. I love AJ.
Yeah.
But bro,
I saw you going them.
I was talking so much. But I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, his jaw's fine. Yeah. He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Yeah. We'll see him back again for sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Logan. Appreciate you, brother.
Honestly, I don't know what I thought, but I just didn't expect for it to go down like that. That shit was like a joke almost. Like, that was just like funny. It was just crazy.
So you don't think it was a real fight?
Nah, I think it was more for entertainment. He's a good entertainer, you know. That's just who he is since he was young. So
What should Jake Paul do next? Should he carry on fighting in professional boxing?
No, stick with YouTube. Quit boxing immediately and stick with YouTube.
He got 40 million for it.
So Jake
None of it is concrete. None of it is verified. But in the internet age, perception spreads faster than facts. And here's the reality Joe Rogan highlighted: Jake Paul is fighting under a microscope. Every punch he throws is analyzed. Every reaction is questioned. Every win is doubted. That's because Jake Paul doesn't fit the traditional boxing mold. He didn't come up through amateur circuits or grind obscure gyms for a decade. He entered the sport with money, attention, and leverage, and that alone makes people uncomfortable. The Anthony Joshua fight only amplified this. Joshua is a former heavyweight champion, a disciplined professional, and a symbol of boxing's old guard. When Jake steps into the same ring as someone like AJ, the comparison is unavoidable. And when Jake survives rounds, lands shots, or shows durability, disbelief kicks in hard. Some fans say there's no way. Others claim it shouldn't be possible. And when people can't reconcile what they're seeing, they look for explanations. Rigging becomes the easiest one. Joe Rogan pushed back on that thinking, pointing out that boxing history is full of fighters who were underestimated, written off, and laughed at, until they weren't. He also reminded listeners that toughness, preparation, and timing can bridge gaps people don't want to acknowledge. So, what's next for Jake Paul? That's where the conversation gets even more interesting. After the Joshua fight, the stakes are higher than ever. Jake is no longer just the YouTuber boxer. He's now a legitimate lightning rod for the sport. Every future opponent will carry pressure. Every performance will be dissected. And every win will come with an asterisk in the eyes of his critics. But love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable: Jake Paul has forced the boxing world to pay attention. And until he loses convincingly, the accusations, conspiracies, and chaos aren't going anywhere.